Your live interactive Weather Authority coverage will begin shortly. Your live Weather Authority coverage starts right now.
Happy Wednesday, everybody. Hopefully it is Wednesday. It's been a long week leading up to this snowstorm. It feels like we've been talking about it for a month now. But yep, here we are. It is finally here. It is moving in this evening. So, of course, that's the point of our Facebook Live today, to break down what we're expecting with that storm. And hint, hint, it's a lot of snow for a lot of us here. Looks like quite a lot of it is on the way. So again, thanks for joining, everybody. We are probably 8 to 10 hours out from the start of this storm for most of us. It's really going to crank up overnight. And again, the worst conditions look to be tomorrow, with the highest snow and the highest winds as well on Thursday morning. So let's jump right into our forecast here. Here's the storm. It's a very powerful one. It's already approaching from the west, and it will be arriving here again 4 to 9 p.m. or so as we head into this evening. So we still have a few more hours of quiet conditions. And also, after the storm starts, it will take a minute to get going. So the worst conditions not arriving for a little bit after that storm does start to get going. Again, our big concern here is the power outage potential with the high winds and the heavy wet snow that we are expecting. So the storm begins this evening. It ramps up in a big way overnight. Heavy snow, high winds, power outages are likely on Thursday. Lighter snow and rain then persists through Friday and into Saturday. But again, the big story is tomorrow, where we will see likely widespread power outages, unfortunately, with this storm on Thursday. So I would prepare right now to be losing power tonight and tomorrow. Get those devices charged, get those generators filled up and fueled up, because it is likely we will be losing some power. At the very least, it's April. It won't be all that frigid, but again, especially check on those vulnerable residents that may be more affected by the chilly temperatures over the next few days. So we got all this snow on the way. Let's talk about what we're expecting here. A winter storm warning is in place for pretty much the entire state. That goes all the way through Thursday evening. Major travel and power impacts are by far the big headlines here with this storm. Again, we are expecting widespread power issues with this one as we head into tomorrow. All right, let's talk about what we're expecting for today. Again, that storm gets going heading into the evening, 4 to 9 p.m. You are in the clear really between now and about 9 or 10 p.m. That's when the worst of the storm really gets going, and we do see those heavy snowfall rates really starting to pick up there as we head towards the late night hours here. And again, temperatures right around 40 all day. So here's what everyone's expecting in terms of our snow totals. No major changes since yesterday. However, models have trended a little colder. That trend has continued. This is somewhat similar to the last storm that we just saw, in that the models kept trending a little colder leading up to it. Of course, we still have the rest of today, but probably pretty much locked in with our snow map at this point. So in terms of totals here, yes, that York County bullseye looks really potent. Sanford on northwards, the Route 25 corridor through places like Porter, Leamington, Limerick. It looks like over 1.5 feet of snow there. That's the starting point is 18 inches. So it does look like upwards of 2 feet maybe falling in that zone. Similar story in the higher elevations of the mountains. It also looks like upwards of 1.5 feet or more of snow could be falling there. Now, Diane, good morning to you in Rumford. It looks like Rumford's on deck for 12 to 18 inches, although in the hills, the mountains outside of town, probably going to be getting some higher totals of upwards of 1.5 feet or more. Now, if you're watching from Lewiston, Auburn, the Lakes region, Naples, Bridgeton, Standish, out towards Casco, Sebago, that looks like you guys are in the 8 or 12 to 18 inch range there. And then Portland, we're in the 8 to 14 inch range, up towards Augusta as well, also in that 8 to 14 inch range. Only the immediate coastline in that 5 to 10 inch range. So if you're watching from, say, Kittery, Portsmouth, New Hampshire, yesterday it was looking like only a couple inches of snow with the slightly colder trend. Looks like you're in that 5 to 10 inch range now. So yesterday's forecast had a lot less snow for far southern Maine than it does today. Portland, 8 to 14 inches. A foot is a really good possibility here in Portland, Jeffrey. Good morning in Oxford and Phippsburg, 5 to 10 inches for you guys there. You're seeing conflicting reports, mainly start time and how it starts. I work in Falmouth and live in Lewiston. Takes a minute to get going. It will begin this evening in Falmouth, probably as some light rain, probably as some light snow in Lewiston. It's well above freezing, though. It'll be like 37, 38 degrees when this storm starts. So that's what I'm saying. Even though it begins around 4, 5, 6 o'clock or so this evening, Lisa, it really doesn't get bad till 9, 10, 11 o'clock tonight. Again, it takes a minute for the storm to really kick into gear here. So as long as your travel isn't super late this evening, you're probably going to be okay. Just drive carefully tonight, I would suggest. Good morning from Skowhegan. Good morning to you, Jennifer. And good morning to you in Kittery. Nicole, you're a perfect example here. I was hoping someone from Kittery would comment. Kittery totals have been increased. Again, the colder trends with this storm mean it's not looking like just a couple inches now in Kittery. Looks like 5 to 10 inches. Yes, you'll probably be shoveling in Kittery. Starts there pretty early today, as early as maybe 3:30 this afternoon. Starts as rain in Kittery, turns to snow after sunset tonight. So not really bad in Kittery until later on this evening. I know North Conway, you guys have gotten buried. Have fun with the 2 feet plus of snow you're probably about to get, Arlie, in North Conway, New Hampshire. Yeah, significant storm there. Waterville area, it looks like in general 8 to 14 inches for you guys, maybe a little lower totals when compared to some other areas of the state. Cape Elizabeth, 5 inches is the low end, Jeffrey. It looks like probably closer to the 10 in that 5 to 10 inch range, considering the trends. Probably at least a half foot for you guys there in Cape Elizabeth. Again, something else I'm doing today is if your town's on the map here, I will not click on your comment because obviously pretty easy to pick that out here on our snow map. So Lincoln County, I think that's what you're talking about here, or Lincoln over there. Looks like for the southern half of Lincoln County, looks like 5 to 10 inches. To the northern half, it looks like 8 to 14 inches. Looks like a little later, Diane, than 4 o'clock in Rumford. Probably more towards 6, 7 o'clock, if I had to take a guess at the exact start time there in the Rumford area. Biddeford looks like 5 to 10 inches on the way for you guys. Remains on track for the forecast in Biddeford, although yesterday it looked like maybe right around 5 inches. Now it looks like maybe more up towards 8 inches or so in Biddeford. So slight increase in expected totals there. Erica says that her travel's super late tonight, driving home from work, Westbrook to Wyndham, 11 p.m. How bad we looking? Not super terrible. You're really getting into it right as the storm is cranking up. Won't be a horrible, horrible drive. Won't be a fun drive either. So just drive carefully is what I would say. Hopefully not too bad for you later this evening. Standish, you guys are getting a dumping 12 to 18 inches for you guys. Excuse me, Thomas. And should I cancel my outdoor fight club? No, you got to fight in the snow in Saco tonight, Jamie. Looks like it will be coming down there for tonight. Sabatis estimated, looks like in the middle of the two. I'm assuming you're meaning the 12 to 18 inches. So probably around a foot of snow there in the Sabatis area. Mary Beth, thoughts on coastal flooding? Luckily, it looks pretty minor. There's probably going to be a little bit of it, probably going to be some splash over Mary Beth, but nowhere near what we saw in January, what we saw even last month in March. If you remember that storm early in the month, doesn't look as bad as that. Gorham out towards Wyndham, 8 to 14 inches for you guys. The further you get, though, North Wyndham, probably more like 12 to 18. Gorham, more like 8 to 14 inches. So a little bit lower totals there in the Gorham area. Wind will be a big factor here. We're about to get into the wind factor. Bridgeton, yes, 12 to 18. New Gloucester, 8 to 14, although you're running up close to that 12 to 18 inches. Bangor, looks like a little less snow there, maybe more on the 8 to 14 inch range or 5 to 10 inch range for you guys. Town of Lincoln, someone is commenting that, not Lincoln County. Let me see, Lincoln, ME. All right, just want to make sure I'm getting your exact location just right. All the way. You're far up 95 there in Lincoln. It looks like 8 to 14 if I had to guess. Westbrook, 8 to 14 inches for you guys. Looks like Wyndham as well. Waterboro probably in that range. Also, South Portland, probably more towards 5 to 10 inches, although the trends have been for more snow. Could end up in that 8 to 14 range in SoPo. Airport conditions tomorrow night, improving. I'm thinking that the Jetport will be okay by tomorrow around 7, 8 o'clock or so. So as long as it's later in the evening, Julie, I think you'll be okay. Friday overall is not a bad day. The snow turns to rain. We'll see big improvements, hopefully to power as well, and the winds will be much lighter. Do I expect Rockland to switch over to rain? Tomorrow afternoon, Ryan, I do, but it's mostly snow there to start out with, at least, and through the morning tomorrow. Looks like by the afternoon, though, it probably does turn over to rain. It is a heavy, wet snow with high winds. Yes, major power outage concern. The wind is worse from midnight to noon tomorrow. So that's the wind time frame here. Let's jump into the timing. I'll come back to our snow map as we head into as we begin to wrap this up here. I'll go back to it, but let's talk about the timing here. Here's a look at what we're expecting. Here's a general breakdown. It begins 4 to 9 p.m. Worst conditions, which does include the wind, midnight to noon, although we can further define that 3 a.m. to 2 p.m. And the storm tapers off Thursday night. It doesn't exactly wrap up, though. All right, so let's talk about the timing. Gabe's asking, when is it starting in Portland? Portland, I would have to guess 5 p.m. or so. We'll start seeing some light rain, maybe a little earlier than that. Snow doesn't start in Portland until more 8, 9 p.m. or so, and it doesn't become super heavy until 9, 10 o'clock. So it's a gradual start, but once it's going for a while. We're going to see a lot of snow for a while here. Yeah, extra gas for the generators definitely needed here. So in Augusta, it looks like the snow starts a little later, more towards 9 p.m. And here is the snow moving on in. It really cranks up overnight. Notice the heavy snow all through the nighttime. This is around this time tomorrow or a little earlier than that. Again, heavy snow, strong winds are the headlines here for tomorrow. Very heavy snow, very strong winds through the morning, especially near blizzard conditions. Don't want to be traveling out there tomorrow and really through much of the day. Look how it just snows hard pretty much all day long on Thursday. You'll notice the radar picture not too much different than it is early in the morning. So yes, a lot of snow on the way because of the long duration. And if we keep heavy snowfall rates into the afternoon, our totals will only continue to increase. Now, late in the day on Thursday, I've had a couple people asking me about Friday on here. Someone asked about Friday. Bear with me while I find that comment. Michael asked about Friday overall. Let's jump into the Friday forecast. So the storm begins to wind down on Thursday evening. By the time we get into Friday, though, we'll wake up and it will still be snowing in many spots. This is 6:30 in the morning on Friday. And yes, you can see the snow is still coming down out there. It only gradually wraps up as we head into Saturday. Turns over to rain, it looks like, on Friday afternoon outside of the mountains. But the mountains keep the snow going all the way until Saturday evening. So again, a long duration event here. The mountains seeing snow tonight, all day tomorrow, all day Friday, and most of the day on Saturday as well. So long duration event there. Outside of the mountains, though, the worst of the storm is done. I'd say 5 p.m. tomorrow, and we'll see improvements after that gradually over the next couple of days with the, again, storm turning to rain by Friday afternoon. A lot of people asking about the winds. Unfortunately, yes, widespread power outages in Buxton and Standish. I expect them in both of those spots, as well as for Gorham. Anybody commenting, any town that's been commented so far that I've brought up, you do have a risk of your power being lost. So charge those devices, fuel up those generators. I would prepare to lose power for at least 2 days, let's say here. It's just going to take a while with the widespread nature of this storm. It's going to take a while to restore things, I would think. So unfortunately, does look like widespread power outages are almost given here at this point. Now, the winds, again, they really ramp up around midnight. Worst of the winds is about 2, 3 a.m., all the way through about 2 p.m. tomorrow. Gusts along the coastline up to 55 miles per hour. I've had a couple people asking me about the winds in their town. Yes, extra gas for the generators. Wind in Rumford, not as strong as it will be at the coastline, Diane, but it will be strong enough, and there will be enough snow there anyway to lead to some power outages. So if you think that you're inland, you're safe from the wind, you are safe from the strongest winds, but 18 inches of heavy wet snow on its own can cause power outages. Even if we had no wind tomorrow, we would likely still see a lot of outages just because of the heavy wet snow, and we have wind. So there will be widespread outages. Would you recommend moving my vehicle now? Well, I think Parker, that they'll probably do a snow ban for tomorrow night in Portland as opposed to tonight. So I would say wait and see what they say later today, and probably won't have to move it until tomorrow there in the Portland area. Also, something of note, if your car is parked under big trees, under big branches, good idea to maybe move your car before tonight, because some of those branches, again, could come down from the heavy snow. We saw that with the ice storm. We saw lots of damaged cars. Want to save yourself from that. Again, good idea to maybe move your car out from under the trees. Again, the winds are worst from 3 a.m. to about 2 p.m. tomorrow. Worst in the morning. Looks like right around this time tomorrow, that's when winds will be the worst. So yes, Sanford, 45-mile-per-hour gusts, very possible there, Ryan. It does look like you could see some power outages there. Same story in Buxton. I know, I hope you guys keep your power as well, Isaac, but I'm telling everybody, just prepare like you're going to lose it. We've seen so many of these storms this winter that have brought widespread power outages. It just seems like that's what Mother Nature wants to give us this winter and this season in general. So I would prepare for it, because that's what we've been getting. I wouldn't expect this one to really go much differently here. The winds do die down Thursday evening. Friday and Saturday are nothing like Thursday. And we'll still see precipitation. We will not see the winds lasting into Thursday and Friday. Again, much calmer out there. All right, somebody asked about the coastal flooding earlier. It's not a major coastal flood concern, but there could be some minor flooding along the coastline here. I heard somebody ask about that. Way back up in the comments. Let's see if I can find that. But if not, again, there is at least a minor coastal flooding concern here. Not a major one, thankfully. Does not look like the January storms. Does not look like anything we've seen with those record-breaking coastal floods, but certainly thinking there will be some minor splashover erosion. Minor coastal flooding is the key here. The wind, the power outages, the snow, the big takeaways from this storm. The coastal flooding, not as much of a factor here. So Kiribati checking in. Hey, Klein. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm going to be up in your neck of the woods, up in Rangeley, actually, on Monday for the eclipse. So super excited for that. And yeah, can't wait to see how much snow you guys get up at Sugarloaf. So yeah, we got the wind factor. We got the storm itself beginning 4 to 9 p.m. Before we wrap things up on the storm, let's get back to our snow totals here. So again, here's what we're expecting in terms of totals. Again, widespread power outages are expected, so I would expect to be losing power here later on today, or later on tonight, I should say, into tomorrow. Just prepare for it. It's always better to be prepared than to have to deal with the power outages unexpectedly, right, with this storm. Belgrade, north of Augusta, 8 to 14 inches there for you, Brian. Easterly winds will enhance cold air damming in the foothills and mountains. Exactly, buddy. Great point there. It's a little colder in the mountains. The snow's a little fluffier. It also lasts the longest there. That's why totals are going to be so high. And it looks like that western Maine corridor right along the New Hampshire border is the sweet spot for this storm. It looks like places like Porter, Cornish, Leamington, they may post some mind-boggling totals out of this one. Wouldn't be shocked if someone in Maine gets 30 inches of snow out of this one. Yeah, major, major storm for sure. Yes, definitely a good idea that you didn't put the snowblower away here with this one. Good, smart thinking there. Yes, and there's lineman safety. Yes, be patient. Patience is key, I would say, with the power outage threat here later today. While that 18 plus got bigger near Freiburg, yep, just high confidence that we're going to see some big totals extending down into York County. So if you're watching from Sanford, yes, your totals have certainly been bumped up in the past 24 hours. It looks like a lot of snow is expected for you guys. Blizzard conditions. This is the key question here with this storm. Are we going to see a blizzard? Potentially. It's just that the snow is so heavy and wet, I don't think we'll reach the visibility requirements for a blizzard. There just won't be enough blowing snow around. It's just hard to have blowing snow when it's a pasty, wet snow like that. But we're going to have the wind. We're going to have intense snowfall. We're going to have low visibility and power outages. So near blizzard conditions with blizzard still on the table. I wouldn't be shocked if we end up seeing a blizzard warning issued for maybe coastal Cumberland County or something like that, Eric. So interesting to wait and see, but it'll be close to blizzard conditions. Yes, very well could, Ryan. Sanford, I was debating this morning. I was like, do I add Sanford to the 18 plus? Decided on not at that point. I would not be shocked if you guys end up with over 1.5 feet of snow there in Sanford. Yes, very significant storm for you guys. No, this is not a 10-to-1 ratio for a lot of us at the coastline, at least, buddy. This looks like at the coastline, maybe 8-to-1. It's going to be very wet snow. The further inland you go, probably in the mountains, maybe 10 to 12-to-1 or so. A little bit higher ratios, closer to that 10-to-1 up in the mountains here. Lewiston, do I foresee your totals on the higher end? I think you'll be probably right in the middle of that 12 to 18 inch range, Dan. I think 12 to 15 inches or so of snow is probably a good bet for you guys there in the Lewiston area. I know. I wish this was all just a big April Fool's joke, right? If I could, I would, you guys. I would tell you that it was going to be sunny and 70 tomorrow. I would, but yeah, that shoveling, it's going to be tough. Again, also something I need to mention is that definitely want to take extra care when you're shoveling. Again, heavy, wet snow. This is a back-breaking, pulling your back out kind of snow. So just be very, very cautious shoveling. It's also going to melt so quickly. 60s on the way next week. So anybody watching that's a little upset over this winter weather forecast, 60s are on the way, you guys, next week. It does look very, very nice. Also for the eclipse here. It looks great on Monday. So if you are hoping for great weather for the eclipse, also looks good. Yeah, Sebago's going to get hit pretty hard. It looks like 12 to 18 inches there. Hopefully we avoid the worst power issues for you guys. Again, everybody, I'm really hoping we avoid power outages, but I want to just let you know that we have the potential for widespread outages. So you want to get prepared now. Again, plug in those devices right now, plug in those portable chargers, make sure they've got the juice to get you through a day or two. Again, it might be a while. We've had plenty of practice, you guys, a week and a half ago with the ice storm. Remember the gas station lines, remember the fast food lines, because they were the only places that had hot food. Expect similar situations with this one. So again, prepare, plan now for that situation here. A lot of people probably going to be losing power heading towards the end of the weekend. Yes, somebody needs to speak to the groundhog, right? Man, what a whiff this year, Mr. Groundhog. It was looking like he was on the right track, and then it all went to HE double hockey sticks, right? At the end of March when we had that big ice storm. And now we've got this next storm headed our way, arriving this evening. And I'll wrap up on Cheryl's comment here. Gorham, 8 to 14 inches for you guys there out in the Gorham area. So going to wind this down now. We're going to have updates for you all evening. This time tomorrow, I'm going to be live. Of course, in our digital studio here covering the storm. We've got team coverage all morning. Great morning to hunker down, wake up early, watch the snow falling outside, tune into Good Day Maine. We'll have you covered with full storm coverage. Everyone loves a good news station snowstorm coverage day. So we'll have a fun one of those tomorrow, even if we do have to deal with some other non-fun impacts with this storm. So tune in for that. We'll keep you posted. Charlie will do a Facebook Live this evening. And I will also actually leave us on Lightning Kachow's comment here. I like the little Cars reference there. Limerick. That is the bullseye. Perfect comment to end this Facebook Live on. 18 inches plus. Again, 1.5 feet, your starting point. Wouldn't be shocked if Limerick ends up with 2 feet plus of snow. I think the highest total in Maine may start with the number 3. Yes, 30 inches, not out of the question in an isolated spot or two, especially in those dark blue circles with the highest total. So again, significant storm on the way. We'll keep you posted. This time tomorrow, things are going to be wild out there. It's going to be quite the day tomorrow. So again, we'll keep you updated and enjoy the calm while we've got it, you guys. So have a great rest of your Wednesday. Stay safe out there. And again, get prepared for this storm arriving 4 to 9 p.m. this evening.
This has been live interactive Weather Authority coverage from CBS